Hi everyone, I'm Fiona Forbes for Investment Pitch Media, and today we're going to be talking about race cars. I am joined by two very special guests, Kellen and Chris Ritter. How are you, gentlemen?
Good morning.
I almost said, gentlemen, start your engines, but that would be cliche. Now, Kellen, we are here to talk about you and getting you a coveted sponsor. But first of all, we want to talk about your racing career. You had a banner year in 2018. You achieved things nobody has achieved before. Maybe you can start there and tell us about 2018 and where you are now.
Well, 2018 was my first year in cars, so it was a big step for me out of karts. And honestly, I went into the season not fully confident in myself, to be completely honest, but as the season went on, we were doing extremely well with the exclusive Autosport team, and we just kept going and winning races and winning championships, so it was a really good season to start off on.
Now, you were Rookie of the Year, and you did something nobody had ever achieved before. What was that?
Winning all three of the Canadian championships in the same season. So in Canada, there's two series that run parallel. There's the Ontario series, which is the Toyo Tires F1600 series, and the Quebec series, which is the Canadian Formula 1600 series. And so they have their own individual championships, but in the middle of the year they run in tandem 4 races together, and it's called the Super Series. So to win all 3 series, no driver had done that before, so I was really happy to win all 3 of those.
No kidding, and you must have been one proud dad.
I was thrilled. He in the middle of the season won the 2 F1600 races at the Montreal GP in front of a field of 35 racers. It was amazing.
And Kellen, how old are you now?
I'm 19 years old.
And you started racing when you were 4 years old?
4 years old.
Now, how on earth did that happen? Well, and what were you racing? We should clarify that.
Well, at 4 I was racing karts. They're a little smaller, a little slower. But my brother started racing karts when we lived in Calgary, and looking up to my big brother when I was little and seeing him running around racing the karts was huge for me. You always want to do what your big brother's doing, but for me it was even more so that. And so when I was 4 for Christmas, got a nice go-kart, and so we took it out of the track. Literally 2 weeks later, it was still freezing cold, and just running laps. I was so slow and so scared, but it was probably the most fun I've ever had.
Now, this is an unusual career, Chris, for any kid to take on. What made you support Kellen's obvious talent, but also his dream where he is now in 2020?
We've raced cars and go-karts since my elder son, who's 26 now, was 7. And as a family, we went to racetracks. We raced in series across Western Canada, and then my older son got better, so we raced across the United States, and then Kellen came along. Turns out he's pretty talented, and he started winning. And he represented Canada in 2016 and 2017 at the World Championships in Europe. And he started getting better, and damn it, he kept winning. And then we got into the F1600, where it turns out he's really quite good. And it just carries on. It doesn't seem to ever end.
And here we are, Kellen. It brings us to today and why we're here today and what you need to support you. Let's talk first about the Road to Indy and what that is exactly.
So the Road to Indy is a ladder series that runs in tandem with the IndyCar series. And the Road to Indy consists of 3 series. So there's USF 2000, which is their entry-level series, Indy Pro 2000, which is a step up, so they get more power, bigger tires, bigger wings. And then one more step up is Indy Lights. And so it's a bigger car, it's closer to an Indy car, and it's the final step on the ladder. But each series offers a scholarship program. So when you win in USF 2000, you win a $400,000 scholarship to help you move up into Indy Pro 2000. When you win in Indy Pro 2000, you get about $700,000 to $800,000. And when you win in Indy Lights, you get just over $1 million US to go race in IndyCar the next year. So it really helps young drivers to push through, and it's a great field for broadcast, especially running alongside IndyCar.
Okay, let's talk about the dollars. Let's talk about what you're looking for when it comes to a title sponsor for Kellen. Chris?
The budget is a little over $700,000 US. We've raised about $180,000 US. Part of that is sponsorship from Exclusive Autosports, which is a team based in Saskatoon. It's a Canadian team. It's The cars are all run out of Indianapolis, but it's owned by a guy named Michael Duncalf. And he's been a big supporter of Kellens, calls them the rock star. And so that's what we're trying to raise. And that budget includes the budget for the car, it includes the budget for travel, the budget for crash damage, which happens.
I love the fatherly look there. Don't crash. No pressure.
Yeah, one of his first races, he put it into the wall at 100 miles an hour backwards in the rain. It was a very rude awakening.
It happens.
It does happen. And so the budget it's a complete budget. And we've consulted with everyone. For example, the crash insurance for the year is $40,000 US. Nothing's cheap.
What does a sponsor get, somebody who's going to get behind you for all of this to fulfill your dream, Kellen? What do they get out of the package?
So branding on the car, branding on the team. So if it comes down to it, if they want to sponsor, it's a corporate sponsor for the team. Every car under the tent will have that sticker or livery if it's that much of a sponsor. You know, track days with the team, bringing them down and having events set up for the team. So if it's out of Vancouver, say, you know, when the cars come to the West Coast, bringing the car up to Vancouver and doing a corporate event or something like that to just help involve the sponsors so they don't feel like they're just throwing money at the car and just...
So they get great exposure.
Yeah, exactly. And running alongside the road, or running alongside the NTT IndyCar series, there's so many people at the event, and especially of like people walking through the paddock and walking through and looking at the cars. There's just exposure at all times, not even just on track, but just when they're in the pits and under the tent. There's exposure 24/7.
Now, some people might be looking at their calendars. It is July 10th. There is time pressure here to get this happening. Maybe you can touch on that. What is the timeline to get you literally on the road?
Well, the racing started this weekend in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin at Road America. And so we're hoping to get funding as fast as possible and trying to get into the next race or as fast as we possibly can. Time is of the essence for this season. This season, if we miss too many races, the chance at a championship goes out the window. But if, say, you know, we got it for the next weekend, the chances at a championship are still there because anything can happen in a lot of races. And so trying to get that as soon as possible, and especially the payout for me as a career and for a sponsor being able to carry that logo up into Indy Lights and possibly IndyCar, because especially with Indy Pro 2000 this year, when you win the championship, you're getting a test day in an IndyCar for after you complete Indy Lights. And so having a sponsor be able to carry that logo all the way up into IndyCar would be huge. And so we're trying to get the ball rolling as quick as we possibly can.
As quickly as possible. Now, Chris, where do people go to find out more information to support you?
Well, I'm assuming we're going to put a bit of a blurb on there, and my cell phone will be on there, and contact me directly.
Call Dad.
You know, it's not even so much call Dad, it's call the guy that he's got a job at Grouse Mountain in Vancouver. He's got to keep busy and keep active.
Yeah.
But or call Michael Duncalf at Exclusive Autosport. Michael's Michael will be happy to do whatever he can to make it probably even better than we are in pitching what can and can't result. So yeah, but call me anytime.
Well, Kellen, best of luck, and I hope we get you a sponsor, because we are all starved for sports, and how great would it be to cheer on somebody from right here in Vancouver. If you want to find out more information, as Chris just said, you can go to exclusiveautosport.ca to support Kellen on his dream to the road to Indy.
Or you can contact me at critter@cmsipacific.com.
Excellent stuff. Well, thank you so much, and best of luck. For Investment Pitch Media, I'm Fiona Forbes.